Today on r/today I effed up. Today I effed up by accidentally making my little sister think I'm gay. A few days ago 16 female, had been sitting in my room writing when my younger sibling, 8 female, walked into my room. She does this a lot. She'll come into my room and sit down either to read, talk, or just because she doesn't like being alone. She was on her iPad watching YouTube shorts, and I had my headphones on listening to music as I typed. About 5 minutes after she came in, I saw her gesturing to get my attention from the corner of my eyes. I asked her what's up and she asked me completely deadpan, "Is gay a curse word?" Now in the moment I freeze, and quickly tell her that no it isn't, and why exactly is she asking. She refuses to say, and I ask her if she's heard any of her friends say it. She shakes her head, so now I can only assume she learned it from YouTube or something like that. When I tell her that it's not, she then asks the obvious, "Well, what does it mean then?" My sister is extremely smart for her age, she's perceptive, and she'll know if I make something up. I know that if I don't tell her she'll end up looking it up, and for obvious reasons I don't want an 8-year-old looking that up and coming across something inappropriate as a result. My other big issue is that my parents are kinda homophobic, and if they found out I exposed my sister to that they'll flip out. But as I'm struggling with this internal dilemma, my sister asks, "I know you said it's not a curse word, but it's like, bad to call someone that, right? Like you shouldn't." I tell her it's not a bad word, it's more of a description for certain people, and she then goes, "Oh, do people call you gay? I feel like they would, but I won't tell anyone." I choked, trying to figure out whether I wanted to laugh or cry, because what do I say to that? Eventually I calmed down, tell her I'm not, and explain that a person being gay means that instead of a boy wanting to get married to a girl, they want to get married to another boy, and vice versa with women. She nods at this, and I quickly add in that mom and dad would say it's not allowed, so it's best not to talk about it. I did make sure she knew that while she doesn't have to be worried about who she loves right now because she's still a little kid, and who she decides to get married to in many years will never matter to me. I thought that would be the end of the conversation, but then she gets real quiet and with big eyes goes, "Wait, is that why you always say you don't want a husband or kids? So you are gay?" And even when I explain that I'm simply not interested in any of that, she refuses to accept this, and is convinced I must be gay. Whenever I walk her to camp, she tugs at my shirt and points at girls passing by and asks me, "Do you think they're pretty?" I have no way to explain that yes, they're very pretty, but no, I don't want to marry or date a woman even if they're very beautiful. My parents already keep questioning my sexuality, and now I've got yet another family member who is convinced I'm a lesbian. Granted, my little sister is much more pleasant about it than my parents, but I feel as though it's a lost cause trying to tell them otherwise at this point. For our next story. Today I effed up by calculating my inflation-adjusted raises. Today I effed by using an inflation calculator to check my salary growth. It started as a random curiosity. I'd been at my job since 2015, and recently got a promotion. I thought it'd be interesting to see how my salary has kept up with inflation over the years, especially since I felt pretty good about that promotion. Spoiler, it was not interesting. It was soul-crushing. So I punched in the numbers, my starting salary in 2015 and my current salary after 9 long years of loyalty, hard work, and one big promotion. I was expecting a decent difference, something to justify all those late nights, skipped vacations, and doing more with less speeches. But when the inflation-adjusted numbers popped up on the screen, I had to do a double take. The difference? A measly 3.24%. That's it. After nearly a decade, my salary has only increased by 3.24% when adjusted for inflation. I stared at the screen in disbelief, feeling a mix of anger, sadness, and, honestly, a sense of betrayal. I've always been the loyal employee type, the one who sticks it out because things will eventually get better, right? But this felt like a slap in the face from the universe telling me that my loyalty was worth next to nothing. To add salt to the wound, I started thinking about all the opportunities I passed up, the job offers I didn't pursue because I was comfortable. Or so I thought. I was playing it safe, believing that sticking with my company would pay off in the long run. But now it's clear that I've been shortchanging myself, literally. I could have pushed harder to move up or moved on to somewhere that would have valued my experience and contributions more. But instead, I let myself get complacent, and now I'm facing the harsh reality that my promotion barely kept pace with inflation. I can't help but feel like I really effed up by not trying harder to get out of here sooner. Now I'm left wondering how to pick up the pieces and make up for lost time. I guess the moral of the story is, don't let loyalty blind you to the fact that sometimes you're just not getting what you're worth. Our last story for today. Today, I effed up in the middle of a lesbian spat that has nothing to do with me. I recently changed my phone number and ended up with one previously owned by a woman who changed her number to get away from her ex-girlfriend. To make this less confusing, let's call the ex-girlfriend Sarah and the other woman Lisa. One day, I received a message from Lisa because she texted her previous number, which is now mine, and asked if I could provide a security code being sent to the number so she could log in to her social media accounts and update them with her new number. I provided her with the codes when she requested them. I was also happy to help because I needed her to remove the number from her accounts so I could link it to mine. Note: I use a password manager, my2. FA codes are generated within the manager, so my2. FA codes aren't sent via SMS. I also have passkey set up on all accounts which allow it. Some of you believe that I shouldn't have given her the codes. I can't argue with that, but in this particular case, Lisa's intentions were honest, nothing nefarious. We chatted a bit about general stuff and decided to keep the lines of communication open in case we needed to access an account or something. Lisa had this number for a very long time because it was linked to everything. When she went through an easy pass, I got an alert. When her kid were absent from school, I got an alert. Changes in her credit score, I got an alert. Doctor's office appointments, hospital visits, pharmacy alerts, spa check-ins, hair salon appointments. I even knew when she got her car's oil changed along with an inspection report. I texted Lisa one day asking her to remove her number from a social app so I could create an account using my new number. What I didn't know was that at the time I texted her, she was around Sarah. For reasons I don't know. Sarah saw my name pop up and assumed I was someone Lisa was involved with. Lisa had spent a weekend at a hotel a few weeks prior, before I knew her, with someone, and Sarah thinks I'm that person. Now, Sarah somehow got my number and called, pretending to be a friend of Lisa. I told her, this is no longer her number, but I am in contact with Lisa. I'll let her know to reach out to you. She then started asking how I knew Lisa. I explained the situation. Then she started asking where I was from, saying, I'm Jackie, what's your name? I was a bit nervous answering those questions because it seemed invasive for someone reaching out to the wrong person, but I answered them. I texted Lisa to let her know that someone named Jackie was looking for her. As it turned out, Lisa was with Jackie at the time, so it was impossible for her to call. That's when the drama really started because Sarah was pretending to be Jackie during that call. Now Sarah has called me from about 20 different numbers, pretending to be various people in an attempt to get information on me. She has cussed me out and blown up my phone and hasn't stopped. Since I got the number, I've also received calls from debt collectors looking for Sarah. I usually tell them I don't know who that is and that I just got this number, and they say they'll remove it from the system. Now, when a debt collector calls looking for Sarah, I say I don't know her, but I can't stand that B word. I then give them Sarah's main number. Just to be clear, I don't know any of these women. All I did was get a new number, and it came with all this BS. Believe it or not, this is my third number change in 2 months because I had to change the previous number because the previous owner, Tasha, had men sending nude pictures and calling the phone at 2 or 3 in the morning. I couldn't take it anymore, so I changed the number and ended up in this drama. Phone company has cautioned me not to change the number for a few months and hope that this will all go away before requesting another change, because it could happen again because numbers are only recycled for 60 to 90 days and they back online. This is just a quick overview of what's happening, but it gets crazier. I just don't have the patience to type it all. Update. People were asking for a follow-up on previous posts. Here it is. I have tried to de-escalate the situation with Sarah. I was willing to send her a screenshot of the entire message thread to prove to her that I am not the guy she believes I am, who's sleeping with her ex-girlfriend, Lisa. But she refuses to believe that the message thread wasn't manipulated. Sarah and Lisa actually still live together, but they're separated. It's a pretty toxic situation. Sarah actually has a girlfriend, but she's still emotionally attached to Lisa. I believe the only reason Sarah has a girlfriend is to make Lisa jealous, but Lisa is so over Sarah to the point where she couldn't care less. One night, Sarah and Lisa get into an argument and call me. I picked up and all I hear is yelling, "Hey, did we F last weekend?" I'm like, "No, I didn't even know you last weekend." Sarah's yelling in the background, "BBS, get the F out of here, then why the F is he texting you early in the morning if you ain't effing him?" Before I could say anything else, Lisa says, "I'll call you back." I run a business, so I have to answer numbers that aren't in my contact list. But I knew I had this issue with Sarah calling from different numbers pretending to be different people, in an attempt to get information to see if I was around Lisa so she could catch Lisa red-handed. Even though Sarah is in a committed relationship with the new girlfriend. I blocked Sarah via the settings on my iPhone. I blocked her through my phone company's network, meaning when she tries to call from a blocked number, she would get a message that says something like, "The number you have reached has call restrictions. Please check the number and try again." All she would do is call from a different number, and that would bypass the block. I am able to block up to 5 numbers through the network for free. At this point, I am paying my phone company $10 a month to block 20 of Sarah's numbers, and the limit of blocking numbers is maxed. What do I do next? Well, I figured I would reach out to Sarah from a Google Voice number and ask her what I can do to get her to stop. I basically messaged her. Hey Sarah, can you please stop calling me? I don't know what you have going on with Lisa, but leave me out of it. You're blowing my phone up for nothing. I never met either of you. Sarah responds, first off B-word, F off weirdo with your ugly behind. Me, you're calling and texting me, you have some problems. Sarah, so does your kids weirdo. Me, I don't have any kids, you sound crazy right now. Phone is ringing off the hook at this point, but I don't answer. Sarah, answer the phone B-word. You can't even pay your $50 credit card bill. Get a life. Oh, I forgot you can't. Sarah, you're not picking up the phone because you're a B-word. Answer the phone weirdo. Sarah, standing in the mirror taking a selfie like it's 2008, old B-word Dottie. Sarah, who's the crazy one now? Me, just you. The conversation ended right there. I contacted Lisa and told her what happened. It turns out that I am not the only person Sarah is harassing over Lisa. There are a bunch of people Sarah is going to war with over Lisa. She thought that I was someone else. Again, there's so much to this story, but I think I'm going to end it here. It's really ridiculous. Guys, I am hesitant about changing this number again. In my opinion, changing a number is equivalent to moving from one home to another. It's a hassle when you're an established individual. It may be easier for some of you to switch numbers because you're teenagers or under the age of 25, so you're still figuring life out. And those are all the stories we have for today. See you tomorrow.